just because that's how much water I put in the tank. I would have probably gone for 200, but I put a bit more in.
Winnia, Dickii. Trying to avoid insecticides for a lot of years now. I think I've gone 5 years without using any.
Round amount of wind we've had.
Morning everyone. Thanks for tuning back in, or welcome to the new ones. We have a slight issue with the potatoes. So, or I'll call them spuds. Maybe it's Australian. I'm not sure if other places call potatoes spuds. It are, let's say, 16, 17 weeks, and they look terrible. And now ideally, this paddock in particular, we have two, but this one in particular is really, really crook. We had about 3 weeks of wind, and it really set them back. And during that wind, we really couldn't irrigate effectively. Now we're trying to get this paddock to go to 20 weeks. Now that in itself is usually a bit of a challenge, but it's even more when it's set back like that for so many continuous weeks. So we're going to try something. We're going to try putting I tried irrigating. Irrigated 3 times in the space of 10 days. And when I mean 3 times, so we did it 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 runs in that space 3 times. So we did 12 irrigation runs, so across the whole paddock in 10 days. And I thought that might have sort of knocked it out, but it sort of stopped them from getting a lot worse, which is good. But now I haven't irrigated for about a week, and I'm going to start again, and they don't look real flash. What we're going to do, we're going to try a product, pot nitrate. So pot nitrate it's essentially a fertilizer, and it will give the spuds a hit of potassium and nitrogen, and we're just going to trial it with a strip so we can work out whether it's worked. For a lot of years as an agro, I recommended it at about 10 kilos, and we were sort of applying it for the reason that we thought it was increasing the tops in health, so we could get them a little bit further along. So now when they were being applied, they would apply the whole paddock, which is great, but you don't get a definitive answer whether it's really worked. So a lot of the time, if we can, doing a test strip is a lot better to act upon probably next season, to say, oh well, we got a good reaction. But it's not just top health. It's really only important if it is actually improving yield. What we should do prior to harvest is just try to dig out probably a couple of 10-metre strips in the potassium nitrate trial strip, and then pretty close to it where it had nothing, do the same and measure the differences. And if there's a significant difference, use that word significant, but if there is a really good difference, then it's something that we'll definitely probably trial a bit more the following season. Maybe do half a paddock. When growing crops, it's always a good opportunity to try, just try, but it's hard not to go, oh, it's not that expensive, let's just put it across the whole paddock. And then you're never actually sure whether it's worked or not. That's my biggest gripe with it. What I'll do is I will put enough water in the spray tank to do the whole paddock. We'll do the whole paddock, and then we'll leave one strip out, probably the 3rd strip in, and then we'll put the pot nitrate in to the spray tank and just do that final strip with the pot nitrate. It should work in theory. So this is the product here, Crystal K, the Yarrow product, and it's a crystal form, so it dissolves quite easily. 14% nitrogen and 38% potassium. Yeah. So what we'll do, we'll use Vega 250, which is the equivalent of Score, difenoconazole. It's the same product, and then Amistar, azoxystrobin. So we use those 2 products to spray the whole paddock, One, the Amistar is like it's a crop health. It's a strobilurin product. So in essence, it should green up the crop. But when the crop's failing as much as it is, if we can just hold it, that would be great. And the Vega, that is for target spot, which we might see out there. Let's get this on and get out there. Okay, it's much later in the day and we are going to spray these potatoes, or like I was calling before, spuds. So this is what we are looking at here. We are looking at a 15-16 week Russet Burbank crop, and like I mentioned earlier, we're going to just do a bit of a trial strip, and that'll be 50 kilos to the hectare of pot nitrate in with the fungicide. So the whole paddock will get the fungicide, just this strip will get 50 kilos of pot nitrate with it. There's a lot of holes and bits and pieces there. I reckon that's grasshoppers or Heliothus. It's a little grub that we usually see a little bit of. There's some there. Shell thing there. It's even smaller again. Get in there, there we go. Tiny. So they'll work their way up and have a little bit of a chew. If it was really bad, yeah, we'd probably put an insecticide in. I've been trying to avoid insecticides for a lot of years now. I think I've gone 5 years without using any. Just trying to let it run its race and let the beneficials do the work for it. I was sort of hoping to find a heap of like disease and oh, there's some, there's some. You can see here, like there's a lot of areas where you can see the bare soil. Probably not a good thing to start seeing that already. And these here, this plant here, wherever that goes to, looks like it some sort of wilt. The V1, can't say it at the moment. Yeah, they just look really unhappy. I'd imagine if I was a better agronomist, which I'm not anymore, I'd be able to find target spot. I don't reckon we'd have any Irish blight here, but they're the two blights that we look out for. What's that in there? It's just there's also a bit of so there's not Irish blight, but there could be target spot. There is quite a bit of blackleg. Can't think of what that is called. Erwinia, dickey eye. It's got a few different strains of blackleg, and there's definitely a bit in the Burbanks. It's just a very common disease. Spuds are just inherently good at getting diseases. That's why we've got to put so many fungicides on them. Those cracks can also be a bit of an issue, because it's not one thing, it's another. Potato moth, they can go down in there and lay a few little eggs and then form some grubs, and they start chewing into the spuds. That there is just like beach sand. You wet it, and it still just dries out. You beauty. I'd best describe this crop looking as ratty. It got, like I said earlier, like a month of wind, and they've just looked horrible ever since. I have not been able to fix it. So here's hoping this stuff does. Alright,
not really using it because the wheels will just sit in these furrows pretty well. Really have to steer too much.
Don't bother with that. What are we doing? We're doing 4 bar, 215 litres per hectare.
So that 215 litres is just because that's how much water I put in the tank. I would have probably gone for 200, but I put a bit more in. It doesn't really matter, it's fine. It's just there'll be a bit more pressure to pump it on the speed that I want it to.
Yeah, we're sitting at 6 bar at 8k at the moment.
That's good. Plenty of coverage. Yes, my window's fairly clean. I know.
So it's pretty handy is that it is 1 hectare for every time I do a strip.
So that is super convenient, and that's why we'll just miss this 3rd row and then we'll put it in there, the pot nitrate. Scientist-esque.
Not sure whether the camera and the lighting are going to do it justice, but
Look heaps better than, wow. Trust me,
they're a lot better behind the hedge. They're the ones that have been protected from the profound amount of wind we've had.
damn.
Okay, conveniently, well, it was saying about 200, now that we're sort of going up. Conveniently, we've got about 200 litres and we've got 1 hectare to go.
Put these bags in the hopper, mix them in, and go down this spray run. Almost done. The day's almost done too.
See? Very much like a crystal.
Okay, well that's us spraying this last run. We've put nitrate in. I'll give it a few hours, then I'll pull the irrigator out and run it during the night, and then water the rest of the paddock. Yeah. So there's 4 irrigation runs in total. So 1 8-hour and 3 15-hour ones. So a few days and we'll have it all irrigated again. The pot nitrate itself, putting it on at 50 kilos to the hectare, has really easily dissolved. The filters are blocked up, which is good. Still cruising and doing the same the same pressure, so nothing's been blocked. Even better! This will be the only thing we'll do different this year, this season, with this paddock. And if we find something is a little bit different, well, we might take it a bit further. And maybe we should take it a bit further again next year. I don't know, I'm rambling. But that'll do for this video today, guys. Yeah, it's mainly been about spuds, disease, how bad these look. Yeah, good fun. Thanks guys for watching. Bye.